Flowers were seen Wednesday at the entrance to the apartment building in Moscow where Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov and his assistant Ilya Polikarpov were killed by a bomb hidden on an electric scooter, a bold assassination that was claimed by Ukraine's security service. Russia's security service says it has detained a citizen from Uzbekistan in the bombing. The suspect was identified by TASS and RIA Novosti news agencies as Akhmad Kurbanov of Uzbekistan. The Federal Security Service, or FSB, which did not identify him, said he was born in 1995 and was recruited by Ukraine's security service. The Associated Press could not confirm the conditions under which the suspect spoke to the FSB. He said he had been promised $100,000 and resettlement in a European Union country in exchange for killing Kirillov, according to the FSB. The agency said that acting on instructions from Ukraine, the suspect picked up a homemade bomb in Moscow, placed it on an e-scooter and parked it at the entrance to Kirillov's apartment building. The suspect, who was detained in a village in the Moscow region, according to Interior Ministry, could face a life sentence if convicted. Kirillov, 54, was the chief of Russia's radiation, biological and chemical protection forces. He was under sanctions from several countries, including the UK and Canada, for his actions in Russia's special operation in Ukraine. On Monday, Ukraine's Security Service, or SBU, opened a criminal investigation against him, accusing him of directing the use of banned chemical weapons. Russia has denied using any chemical weapons in Ukraine and has accused Kyiv of using toxic agents in combat. The Russian Investigative Committee said Wednesday that it has detained a suspect in the killing of a senior general in Moscow. The suspect was described as an Uzbek citizen recruited by Ukrainian intelligence services. The investigative committee didn't name the suspect, but said he was born in 1995. According to investigative committee spokesperson Svetlana Petrenko, the suspect said that he was recruited by Ukrainian special services. Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov was killed Tuesday by a bomb hidden in a scooter outside his apartment building in Moscow, a day after Ukraine's security service leveled criminal charges against him. A Ukrainian official said the service carried out the attack. Kirillov was the chief of the military's nuclear, biological and chemical protection forces. His assistant also died in the attack. Petrenko said the suspect had been promised a reward of $100,000 and permission to move to a European Union country in exchange for killing Kirillov. Petrenko stated that, acting on instructions from Ukraine, the suspect traveled to Moscow, where he picked up a homemade explosive device. He then placed the device on an electric scooter and parked it at the entrance to the residential building where Kirillov lived. The suspect then rented a car to monitor the location and set up a camera that live-streamed footage from the scene to his handlers in the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro. Once Kirillov was seen leaving the building, the suspect detonated the bomb. Kirillov was under sanctions from several countries, including the UK and Canada, for his actions in Moscow's military operation in Ukraine. On Monday, Ukraine's Security Service, or SBU, opened a criminal investigation against him, accusing him of directing the use of banned chemical weapons. Russia has denied using any chemical weapons in Ukraine and, in turn, has accused Kyiv of using toxic agents in combat. Kirillov, who took his current job in 2017, was one of the most high-profile figures to level those accusations. He held numerous briefings to accuse the Ukrainian military of using toxic agents and planning to launch attacks with radioactive substances, claims that Ukraine and its Western allies reject it as propaganda. Russia's top state investigative agency said it's looking into Kirillov's death as a case of terrorism, and officials in Moscow vowed to punish Ukraine.
Следователями Главного следственного управления Следственного комитета России во взаимодействии с ФСБ и МВД России по подозрению в совершении теракта, в результате которого погиб Игорь Кириллов и его помощник Илья Поликарпов, задержан гражданин Республики Узбекистан 1995 года рождения. Задержанный доставлен к следователю, с ним проводятся следственные действия. В ходе допроса он пояснил, что был завербован украинскими спецслужбами. По их заданию он прибыл в Москву и получил самодельное взрывное устройство. Он разместил его на электросамокате, который припарковал у подъезда жилого дома, где проживал Игорь Кириллов. Для наблюдения за местом проживания военнослужащего он арендовал автомобиль каршеринга, в котором установил видеокамеру. Съемка с нее транслировалась организатором теракта в онлайн-режиме в город Днепр. После того, как поступил видеосигнал о выходе военнослужащих из подъезда, взрывное устройство было дистанционно приведено им в действие. За совершение этого преступления исполнителю гарантировалось денежное вознаграждение в размере $100 000 США и выезд в одну из европейских стран для проживания. Устанавливаются иные лица, причастные к организации этого преступления.
On December 18th, Russian media outlets have distributed a video of the interrogation of a suspect allegedly involved in the liquidation of Kirillov. The Baza public page claims that the suspect is 29-year-old Uzbek citizen Akhmad Kurbanov. According to him, he was recruited by Ukrainian special services to eliminate a general of the Russian armed forces in Moscow. For this, he was allegedly promised $100,000 and an EU passport. He has been in Moscow for several months. First, he bought an electric scooter, and later installed it near Kirillov's entrance. In order to track the general's place of residence, the suspect rented a car in which he installed a surveillance camera. According to him, the video from the surveillance camera was broadcast directly in Dnepr. He brought the SVU remotely as soon as he received a signal about the general leaving the entrance. Putin's general, who was accused in absentia by the SBU on December 16 of violating international rules of war, was liquidated in Moscow on December 17. Major Polikarpov went to the next world with him. The senior Russian general was killed yesterday in Moscow, and Ukraine claimed responsibility of the attack, calling Kirillov a legitimate target. In response, Russia threatened the Ukrainian leadership with imminent revenge for what it described as a cowardly and despicable strike.